Lin Yu was fired in front of the entire department for a mistake he didn't make. The words landed like a slap. The conference room went quiet, then filled with the soft, poisonous sound of people holding back laughter. Lin Yu stood at the end of the long glass table, a thin folder clutched to his chest, his face drained of color as his supervisor's voice echoed again, louder this time, sharper. "Take responsibility," Director Han said, tapping the screen behind him. "This error cost us a client." Every eye in the room turned toward Lin Yu. Some looked curious. Some looked relieved it wasn't them. A few looked pleased. Lin Yu opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. "That report wasn't mine," he said quietly. Director Han smiled, the kind of smile that never reached the eyes. "Are you saying I'm mistaken?" The room seemed to shrink. Lin Yu felt it then, the familiar tightening in his chest, the warning sign he'd learned to recognize since starting here. The moment when truth no longer mattered as much as hierarchy. "I compiled the appendix," Lin Yu said, choosing his words carefully. "But the financial projections were—" "Enough," Director Han interrupted. "Excuses don't suit interns." A few people chuckled. Someone at the far end muttered, "Typical." Lin Yu's hands trembled, but he forced them still. He bowed his head slightly, the way he'd learned to do when arguing would only make things worse. "I understand," he said. That was the moment something inside him cracked, not loudly, not in a way anyone else could see, but enough that he knew this place had finally taken too much. Director Han nodded, satisfied. "HR will process your termination today. You may leave." Just like that. No discussion. No investigation. No chance to defend himself. Lin Yu turned and walked out of the conference room, his steps steady even as his vision blurred. He didn't look back. He didn't need to. He could feel their eyes on him anyway, burning, curious, already turning him into a cautionary tale. That's what happens when you don't know your place. At his desk, he packed quietly. A pen. A notebook. The small cactus he'd bought because someone once said it looked lonely. No one stopped him. HR emailed him before he even reached the elevator. "Your resignation has been accepted." He almost laughed. The elevator ride down from the 32nd floor felt longer than it should have. Each passing floor marked another layer of hope he'd once carried into this building, thin, fragile hopes he'd never dared to voice. He had tried here. Really tried. He'd worked late nights, double-checked every document, fixed other people's mistakes without credit. He'd smiled when ignored, apologized when blamed, stayed silent when mocked. Because Lin Yu had learned long ago that being quiet was safer. Outside, the city buzzed as if nothing had happened. People hurried past him, phones pressed to their ears, lives intact. Lin Yu stood on the steps of the building, his box of belongings light in his arms, and felt unbearably small. His phone buzzed. A message lit up the screen. "Hey, did your meeting end early?" Lin Yu stared at the name for a long moment before typing back. Yes. 3 dots appeared almost immediately. Are you okay?" Lin Yu swallowed. He could lie. He usually did. But something about today made lying feel heavier than the truth. I'll tell you when I get home." There was a pause. Then, "I'll make tea." Lin Yu closed his eyes. That night, rain streaked the windows of their apartment, soft and relentless. Lin Yu slipped off his shoes by the door, careful not to make noise, even though he knew there was no need. The lights were warm. The air smelled faintly of ginger and honey. "You." The voice came from the kitchen. Lin Yu looked up. The man standing there didn't look like the kind of person who terrified boardrooms or moved markets. He wore a simple white shirt, sleeves rolled up, dark hair slightly messy as he poured hot water into 2 cups. He looked ordinary. Until he lifted his eyes. Those eyes, calm, deep, unreadable, softened the moment they landed on Lin Yu. "You're home early," the man said gently. Lin Yu nodded. He set the box down by the wall. "I got fired." The words fell between them, bare and fragile. The man didn't react right away. He set the kettle down carefully, as if sudden movement might shatter something invisible in the room. Then he walked over and stopped in front of Lin Yu. "Sit," he said softly. Lin Yu obeyed. Only when Lin Yu's hands wrapped around the warm cup did the man speak again. "Tell me what happened." Lin Yu did. He kept it brief. He always did. He didn't talk about the laughter, or the way his supervisor had smirked, or how small he'd felt walking out. When he finished, he waited for disappointment. Instead, the man reached out and covered Lin Yu's hands with his own, warm, steady. "Did you do anything wrong?" he asked. Lin Yu shook his head. "Then they did," the man said. Something in his tone made Lin Yu look up. "Does it bother you?" Lin Yu asked quietly. "That I couldn't even last 6 months." The man's jaw tightened, not in anger, but restraint. "What bothers me," he said, "is that they thought they could humiliate you." Lin Yu looked away. "It's fine." "No," the man said gently. "It's not." For a moment, the room was silent except for the rain. Then Lin Yu asked the question he'd been holding back all evening. "Would things have been different," he said softly, "if they knew who you were?" The man's gaze sharpened. "Do you want them to know?" he asked. Lin Yu hesitated. He thought of the whispers. The way people had looked through him. The way he'd swallowed his pride again and again. "I don't want revenge," Lin Yu said. "I just don't want anyone else to go through that." The man studied him for a long time. Then he stood. "Then," he said quietly, "we'll do this properly." Lin Yu's heart skipped. "Do what?" The man picked up his phone. "I'll attend tomorrow's executive meeting," he said. "In person." Lin Yu froze. "That's impossible," he whispered. "You never." The man turned back to him, expression calm but unreadable. "I think," he said, "it's time they learned exactly who they fired." Outside, thunder rolled low across the city. Lin Yu didn't know it yet, but by this time tomorrow, the entire company would be asking the same question. Who had Lin Yu really been all along? Chapter 2: The meeting no one was prepared for. The next morning, the 32nd floor buzzed with unease. No one could quite explain why. Emails had gone out late the night before. Brief, formal, unsettling. Mandatory executive meeting. Attendance required. 9 a.m. That alone was strange. Executive meetings rarely involved department heads, let alone mid-level managers. Interns were never mentioned. Yet Director Han had read the message 3 times, his jaw tightening more with each pass. Something felt wrong. At 8:55, the conference room was already full. Managers whispered behind raised hands. Someone joked nervously about budget cuts. Another complained about the rain. Laptops were open, notebooks ready, but attention drifted constantly toward the door. Director Han sat near the front, posture rigid, fingers drumming once against the table before he forced them still. "Get a grip," he told himself. You did nothing wrong. The intern had been sloppy. Everyone knew that. If anything, Han had done the department a favor. At exactly 9 o'clock, the room fell silent. The door opened. The CEO entered first. Conversations died instantly. Even those who had never met him before recognized him from company profiles and business articles. He moved with quiet authority, tailored black suit immaculate, expression unreadable. The room seemed to straighten around him. Behind him walked 2 board members. And then, a third figure stepped in. Director Han's breath caught. It was Lin Yu. For a split second, Han thought he must be mistaken. Lin Yu wasn't dressed like an intern anymore. He wore a simple but perfectly fitted coat, hair neatly styled, face calm, too calm. There was no trace of yesterday's humiliation in his posture. But it was him. The same intern Han had dismissed in front of everyone. A murmur rippled through the room. What's he doing here? Wasn't he fired? Is he back already? Lin Yu didn't look at any of them. He walked beside the CEO and took a seat at the far end of the table, reserved, clearly marked. Director Han's stomach dropped. The CEO took his place at the head of the table and scanned the room once, slowly. The silence stretched, thick and suffocating. "Good morning," he said at last. His voice was calm, even warm, but it carried weight. "Thank you for coming on such short notice." No one spoke. The CEO, Yu, folded his hands. "Before we begin, I'd like to introduce someone." He turned slightly. "This," he said, "is my husband." Every breath in the room seemed to stop at once. Lin Yu lifted his gaze. "I'm Lin Yu," he said quietly. The name landed like a bomb. Director Han felt the blood drain from his face. "Husband." The word echoed, sharp and impossible. His thoughts scrambled, searching for an explanation that didn't end in disaster. This had to be a joke. A misunderstanding. Some elaborate coincidence. But the CEO's next words crushed that hope completely. "Until yesterday," the CEO continued, "Lin Yu was employed here as a contract intern." Gasps. Whispers. Shock that no one bothered to hide anymore. The CEO's eyes settled on Director Han. "And yesterday," he said, "he was dismissed publicly for an error he did not commit." Director Han stood abruptly. Sir, I can explain." "You will," the CEO said evenly. "Sit." The single word carried finality. Director Han Saturday. Lin Yu's hands rested calmly on the table, fingers loosely intertwined. If anyone had looked closely, they might have noticed how tightly he was holding himself together. The CEO gestured to the screen behind him. "Let's begin with the report in question." A file appeared, time-stamped, annotated, meticulous. Emails followed. Internal messages. Version histories. Proof. Cold. Precise. Undeniable. The financial projections were authored by Assistant Manager Chiu, the CEO said. The appendix, compiled by Lin Yu, was accurate. Director Han's mouth opened. "Closed. I personally reviewed these files at 3 this morning," the CEO continued. "Along with ours internal correspondence." The screen changed again. Messages filled the wall, complaints that had never been forwarded. Notes marked resolved without investigation. A pattern too clear to ignore. The room was deathly silent. "Why," the CEO asked calmly, "was an intern made a scapegoat?" No one answered. Director Han's pulse thundered in his ears. "Sir, I followed procedure." "You followed convenience," the CEO corrected. "And you mistook silence for weakness." His gaze softened, not toward Han, but toward Lin Yu. "My husband did not tell me what happened yesterday," the CEO said. "I learned from the system logs." That sent a new ripple through the room. Lin Yu looked down. "I chose not to speak," the CEO continued, "because I wanted to see how far this would go without intervention." He paused. "This meeting is the answer." Director Han's hands shook. What happens now?" someone whispered. The CEO leaned back slightly. "Now," he said, "we discuss accountability." Lin Yu finally spoke again. "I don't want my position back," he said quietly. All eyes snapped to him. "I don't want apologies," he continued. "And I don't want this to become a spectacle." The CEO turned toward him. "You." Lin Yu met his gaze, steady but gentle. "You promised me dignity." The room held its breath. The CEO nodded once. "Very well," he said. He looked back at the table. "Effective immediately," he announced, "Director Han is suspended pending investigation. HR leadership will be restructured. And a new policy will be implemented to protect interns and contract staff from retaliation." Director Han's chair scraped loudly as he stood again, panic breaking through his composure. "You can't." "I already have," the CEO said. Security appeared at the door. Director Han was escorted out without another word. The door closed. Silence. Lin Yu exhaled slowly. But even as relief washed through him, a new fear crept in, because every eye in the room was now on him. Not as an intern. Not as a victim. But as the man married to the most powerful person in the building. And Lin Yu knew one thing with terrifying clarity. Nothing about his life would ever be quiet again. As the CEO stood to adjourn the meeting, Lin Yu felt his phone vibrate in his pocket. A single message. Unknown number, you humiliated him. Don't think this ends here. Lin Yu's heart stuttered. He looked up, just in time to catch the CEO watching him, concern flickering beneath that composed exterior. Outside the conference room, whispers were already spreading like wildfire. And somewhere in the building, resentment was taking shape. Chapter 3: The Cost of Being Seen. By noon, the entire company knew. Not in the neat, controlled way the CEO preferred, but in the way gossip always spread, distorted, sharpened, hungry. Lin Yu could feel it the moment he stepped out of the conference room. Conversations stopped too abruptly. Phones were lowered a second too late. People who had once brushed past him now hesitated, eyes flicking toward him with something close to fear. Respect, too. But respect born from power tasted bitter. Mr. Lin, someone started. Lin Yu flinched before he could stop himself. The CEO's hand settled lightly at the small of his back, grounding. He doesn't work here anymore, he said calmly. You may excuse yourselves. The crowd scattered. The elevator doors closed behind them, sealing off the noise. Only then did Lin Yu's shoulders sag, the tension he'd been holding since morning finally slipping. I didn't want that, Lin Yu murmured. The looks. The CEO, his husband, turned to face him fully now. I know. You promised it wouldn't become a spectacle. I promised you dignity, the CEO corrected gently. Sometimes dignity is loud whether we want it to be or not. Lin Yu looked down at the polished floor. His reflection stared back at him, unfamiliar, too composed, too sharp-edged. I feel like I stole something, he said. Like they'll never see me as anything but mine? The CEO finished. Lin Yu nodded. The CEO lifted Lin Yu's chin carefully, forcing him to meet his eyes. You were never small, he said. They just needed you to be. The elevator chimed. Reality rushed back in. By the afternoon, the backlash had begun. Not publicly, yet, but in private messages, anonymous emails, quiet threats wrapped in politeness. Lin Yu sat at their kitchen table, laptop open, scrolling through articles already speculating about the meeting. CEO's secret marriage rocks corporation. Was the intern really innocent? Power or favoritism? His chest tightened. This is my fault, Lin Yu said. The CEO stood at the window, phone pressed to his ear, voice low as he dismissed someone on the other end. He ended the call and turned back. This is not your fault, he said firmly. This is what happens when people lose control. But they are blaming you, Lin Yu whispered. They're saying you abused your power. The CEO's jaw tightened, not in anger, but calculation. I expected that, he said. What I didn't expect was this. He turned the laptop toward Lin Yu. An internal forum post glared back at him. Anonymous, funny how the CEO's husband just happens to be the scapegoat. Guess we know how promotions work now. Below it, dozens of comments. Some defended Lin Yu. More didn't. He hid who he was. If he didn't want special treatment, he should have been honest. What else is he lying about? Lin Yu felt sick. I never wanted special treatment, he said hoarsely. I just wanted to work. I know, the CEO said softly. He reached for Lin Yu's hands, but Lin Yu pulled back before he could stop himself. The hurt flashed across the CEO's face, quick, controlled, devastating. I didn't tell you, Lin Yu said, voice shaking, because I wanted something that was mine. Just once. Not your shadow. Not your protection. And you still had it, the CEO said. Until they took it from you. Lin Yu laughed weakly. No. Until you revealed me. The silence that followed was sharp. The CEO didn't deny it. "I would do it again," he said finally. "Even knowing this cost." Lin Yu stood abruptly. "That's the problem." He turned away, pressing his palms to the counter as his breathing quickened. "You don't get it," he said. "You can survive being hated. I can't." The words hung between them, raw and unfiltered. The CEO stepped closer. "You." "Please," Lin Yu said. "Just give me space." For the first time since they'd married, the CEO hesitated. Then he nodded. "I'll take the guest room tonight," he said quietly. The door closed behind him with a soft click that sounded far too final. Lin Yu slid down to the floor. That night, Lin Yu's phone buzzed again. "Unknown number. If you think the meeting was the end, you're naive." Another message followed before he could respond. "Unknown number. Tomorrow, the board votes. Let's see how much your marriage is really worth." Lin Yu's blood ran cold. The board. He hadn't known. He stood abruptly and crossed the apartment, knocking on the guest room door. No answer. He opened it. The room was empty. The bed untouched. The lights off. Panic surged through him. He called. Straight to voicemail. Outside, the city lights flickered like warning signs. And for the first time since the truth came out, Lin Yu realized something terrifying. The man who protected him might be fighting a battle he never told him about. Chapter 4: The Silence Between Them. Lin Yu didn't sleep. He lay on the edge of the bed, phone clutched in his hand, staring at the ceiling while the city breathed outside the window. Every passing minute pressed heavier on his chest. The board votes tomorrow. He replayed the anonymous messages again and again, each word sharpening into threat. He didn't need to be told what they meant. The meeting yesterday hadn't ended the fight, it had exposed it. And exposure always came with retaliation. At 4:17 a.m., Lin Yu finally stood, pulled on a jacket, and left the apartment. The company building loomed like a sleeping giant, its glass facade dark except for a few scattered lights. Ling Yu had never entered this place after hours before. Security barely glanced at him when he showed his ID, his name now flagged, his access unquestioned. That realization hurt more than it should have. On the 32nd floor, the lights were on. Lin Yu's steps slowed as he approached the executive wing. Voices carried through the hallway, low, tense, urgent. "This is exactly what I warned you about." Lin Yu froze. The voice belonged to board member Chen. "You blindsided us," Chen continued. "The shareholders are nervous. Personal relationships compromise objectivity." "I disclosed nothing that wasn't relevant," the CEO replied, calm but cold. "And I corrected an injustice." "You weaponized your marriage." Lin Yu's breath caught. "I protected my husband," the CEO said. "There's a difference." A pause. "The vote will proceed as scheduled," Chen said. "Whether you retain your position depends on how much support you've lost." Lin Yu stepped back silently, heart hammering. So that was it. "This is my fault." He turned away before he could hear more. By morning, the headlines had sharpened their knives. Board divided over CEO's conduct. Marriage or misconduct. Power, favoritism, and a fall from grace. Lin Yu sat at the kitchen table again, untouched coffee cooling in front of him. The apartment felt cavernous without the quiet presence he'd grown used to. At 9:12 a.m., the door opened. Lin Yu looked up. The CEO stood there, coat still on, tie loosened, exhaustion etched into the lines of his face. "You went to the office," he said softly. Lin Yu nodded. "I heard them." Silence stretched. "They are voting today," Lin Yu said. "You didn't tell me." "I didn't want you carrying that," the CEO replied. "That's not protection," Lin Yu said, voice trembling. "That's deciding for me." The CEO closed the door and set his briefcase down carefully, as if every movement mattered. "I thought distance would help," he admitted. "I was wrong." Lin Yu stood. "They're going to punish you for choosing me." The CEO met his gaze. If that happens, I'll accept it. Lin Yu's chest tightened painfully. You shouldn't have to. The CEO took a step closer. You, look at me. Lin Yu did. I didn't marry you because you were quiet, the CEO said. Or gentle. Or easy to overlook. I married you because you are brave in ways most people never learn to be. Tears burned behind Lin Yu's eyes. And right now, the CEO continued, I need you to trust me. Lin Yu shook his head. I don't know if I can. Not when everything you're risking is because of me. The CEO's voice softened. Everything I'm risking is because I love you. The words hit harder than any accusation. Before Lin Yu could respond, his phone buzzed. A notification. Board decision scheduled, 11 a.m. Lin Yu looked up. I won't hide anymore. The CEO's brow furrowed. You. If this ends you, Lin Yu said, swallowing hard, then I need to stand beside you. Not behind you. The CEO studied him, conflict flickering in his eyes. Then, slowly, he nodded. The boardroom was colder than Lin Yu remembered. This time, he didn't sit quietly at the end of the table. He stood. The board members shifted uncomfortably as he entered with the CEO. Cameras were already set up. Lawyers lined the walls. Chairman Chen cleared his throat. Mr. Lin is not required to be here. Lin Yu spoke before the CEO could. I am, he said calmly. Because this story started with me. Murmurs spread. Lin Yu's hands shook, but his voice didn't. I didn't tell anyone who I was married to because I wanted my work to stand on its own, he said. When I was blamed, I stayed silent. When I was humiliated, I left quietly. He looked directly at the board. If you believe that makes me deceptive, then I accept that judgment, he said. But do not pretend this is about ethics. This is about discomfort. The room stilled. You are uncomfortable, Lin Yu continued, because someone you overlooked turned out to matter. Chairman Chen stiffened. You accuse us? I accuse no one, Lin Yu said gently. I am asking you to decide what kind of company you want to be. He turned to the CEO. I don't want him to lose everything for me, Lin Yu said. But if he does, know that it was his choice. Not my demand. Silence. The vote commenced. Hands rose. One by one. Lin Yu counted. His heart pounded. At last, the chairman exhaled sharply. The motion to remove the CEO fails. Relief crashed through the room like a wave. Lin Yu's knees nearly gave out. But before he could breathe, Chairman Chen added. However, an independent investigation will proceed. The CEO squeezed Lin Yu's hand once. A warning. A promise. As the board adjourned, Lin Yu felt something shift, not resolution, not yet, but momentum. Outside, reporters surged forward. Mr. Lin. Do you regret revealing the marriage? Was this worth it? Lin Yu paused. He looked back at the man beside him. Then he answered. Yes. The cameras flashed. But behind the light, Lin Yu saw it clearly now. This wasn't over. They had survived the vote, but the reckoning was just beginning. Chapter 5, What They Dug Up. The investigation didn't start with questions. It started with leaks. 3 days after the board vote, Lin Yu woke to his phone vibrating non-stop on the bedside table. He reached for it groggily, expecting another media request, another opinion disguised as concern. Instead, he saw the headline. CEO's husband accused of misrepresentation during hiring process. Lin Yu sat up so fast the room spun. Beside him, the CEO was already awake, eyes sharp, phone in hand. He had that look, the one Lin Yu recognized from years of watching him absorb pressure without letting it show. They're moving faster than I expected, the CEO said quietly. Lin Yu scrolled, heart hammering. The article was careful. Polished. Dangerous. It didn't accuse Lin Yu of lying outright. It simply questioned his integrity. Why hadn't he disclosed his marriage? Why had he applied under a shortened name? Why had his resume omitted certain affiliations? They are reframing silence as deception, Lin Yu whispered. Yes, the CEO said. And they are hoping you'll break. Lin Yu laughed weakly. I already did. Yesterday. Months ago. Probably years before that. The CEO reached for his hand. This time, Lin Yu didn't pull away. The first formal interview took place in a neutral office downtown. White walls. No windows. A long table with microphones placed just far enough apart to feel isolating. 3 investigators sat across from Lin Yu. Mr. Lin, the woman in the center began, do you understand why we're here? Yes, Lin Yu said. Because I didn't tell the truth loudly enough. The man to her left frowned. We didn't say that. You didn't have to, Lin Yu replied calmly. They exchanged glances. Why didn't you disclose your relationship? The woman asked. Lin Yu folded his hands. He'd practiced this answer in his head all night. Because I wanted my work to be judged on its own, he said. And because every time people know who I belong to, they stop seeing who I am. The room went quiet. That sounds emotional, the man said. It is, Lin Yu agreed. But it's also true. They asked about his resume next. The gaps. The non-profit work he had enlisted. The legal clinic he volunteered at under a different name. You understand how this could look, the woman said carefully. I do, Lin Yu replied. But none of it was false. They dismissed him after 2 hours. Outside, the CEO waited. How bad? He asked. They're not looking for lies, Lin Yu said. They're looking for weakness. The CEO's jaw tightened. Then they are wasting their time. Lin Yu didn't answer. Because he knew that wasn't entirely true. The next blow came from somewhere Lin Yu hadn't expected. His mother called. Her voice was strained, thin with worry. Someone came to the house today. Lin Yu's stomach dropped. Who? They said they were journalists, she said. They asked why you tricked people. Why you embarrassed your husband. Lin Yu closed his eyes. I never meant, he started. I know, she interrupted softly. But the neighbors don't. The guilt hit harder than any headline. That night, Lin Yu sat alone on the balcony, city lights flickering below like distant fires. The CEO joined him quietly, wrapping a coat around his shoulders. I can make this stop, the CEO said. Lin Yu didn't look at him. How? I can resign. The words sliced through the air. Lin Yu turned sharply. No. It would end the narrative, the CEO continued. They'd lose interest. They'd win, Lin Yu said. And you'd spend the rest of your life paying for my silence. The CEO searched his face. Then tell me what you want. Lin Yu's voice broke. I want them to stop digging into everyone I love. The CEO pulled him close, pressing his forehead against Lin Yu's. Then we finish this, he said. Together. The final interview was scheduled for Friday. That morning, Lin Yu received an email. From Assistant Manager Chiu. Subject, I'm sorry. The message was short. I was told to keep quiet. I didn't think it would go this far. I'll testify if you want. Lin Yu stared at the screen. This was it. The thing investigations rarely accounted for, guilt. By noon, Chiu's testimony was on record. Emails surfaced, orders from above, instructions to handle the intern quietly. A pattern of behavior too consistent to deny. By evening, the tone of the media shifted. New evidence emerges. Internal pressure exposed. Scapegoating allegations gain ground. Lin Yu watched the headlines change in real time. Hope crept in cautiously. But hope was fragile. That night, Lin Yu found the CEO standing in the darkened living room, phone to his ear, face unreadable. He ended the call slowly. What is it? Lin Yu asked. The board, the CEO said. They want a public statement. One last question answered. Lin Yu's chest tightened. Which question? The CEO looked at him steadily. "They want to know," he said, "if you regret marrying me." Silence swallowed the room. Lin Yu felt the weight of everything they'd been through settle into his bones. He stepped forward, took the phone from the CEO's hand, and said softly, "Tell them I'll answer myself." Chapter 6: The question no one expected him to answer. The press room smelled like polished wood and impatience. Lin Yu stood behind the podium, fingers lightly resting on its edge, eyes lowered as cameras clicked and murmurs rolled through the crowd. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him, not just as the CEO's husband, not just as the former intern, but as the quiet center of a storm that refused to settle. Behind him, slightly to the side, stood the CEO. He hadn't asked Lin Yu to do this. Hadn't suggested it. When Lin Yu said he would speak, the CEO had only searched his face and said one thing. "I'm here." The moderator cleared his throat. "Mr. Lin, thank you for agreeing to make a statement." Lin Yu lifted his head. The room stilled. He could see them clearly now, journalists leaning forward, pens poised, eyes sharp with expectation. Some were curious. Some skeptical. Some already convinced they knew his story better than he did. "Before you ask your questions," Lin Yu said, voice calm but carrying, "I want to answer the one you've all been circling." A ripple of anticipation moved through the room. "Do I regret marrying him?" The CEO's breath hitched, just once. Lin Yu didn't look back. He didn't need to. "No," he said. "I regret the world that made that question seem reasonable." The silence that followed was absolute. Lin Yu continued, each word measured, steady. "I didn't hide my marriage to gain advantage. I hid it because I knew what would happen if people stopped seeing my work and started seeing my relationship." He paused, letting that settle. "I was hired because my resume met the requirements. I was fired because it was easier to blame someone quiet than confront someone powerful." A murmur ran through the crowd. Lin Yu felt his heart pounding, but his voice didn't waver. "I stayed silent because silence has always been the price of survival for people like me. But silence didn't protect me. It only protected the system that hurt others before me and would have hurt others after." He finally turned, just slightly, enough to glance at the CEO. "I married a man who believes power should be used to correct wrongs, not excuse them. If that costs him comfort, reputation, or position, then yes, I stand beside him. Publicly. Without apology." Cameras flashed wildly now. A reporter shot to their feet. "Mr. Lin, are you saying the company fostered a culture of scapegoating?" "I'm saying," Lin Yu replied, "that culture doesn't start with villains. It starts with convenience." Another voice rang out. "Do you believe your husband acted objectively?" Lin Yu smiled faintly. "He acted as a human being first," he said. "If that's considered bias, then maybe that's the flaw we should examine." The moderator raised his hands, trying to restore order. "One last question," he said. A young journalist near the front spoke, her voice uncertain but sincere. "If you could go back," she asked, "would you still choose to apply under your own name?" Lin Yu thought of the cactus on his desk. The laughter. The elevator ride down. "Yes," he said. "Because I needed to know who I was without protection. And now I know." The press conference ended in controlled chaos. Outside, the world waited. By evening, the tide had turned. Not completely. Not cleanly. But unmistakably. Support poured in, former interns, contract workers, people who had their own quiet stories to tell. Articles shifted tone. Opinion pieces questioned the investigation itself. When silence becomes a shield. The cost of speaking softly in loud rooms. Lin Yu read none of them. He sat on the couch, exhaustion heavy in his bones, head resting against the CEO's shoulder. For once, there was no tension in the silence, only shared breath, shared weight. "You were incredible," the CEO murmured. "I was terrified," Lin Yu admitted. The CEO smiled softly. "That's usually how courage feels." Lin Yu turned to him. What happens now? The CEO's expression grew thoughtful. The board meets again tomorrow, he said. But whatever they decide, I won't let them turn this into something it's not. Lin Yu studied his face. And if they force you out? The CEO met his gaze, unflinching. Then we'll build something better. Lin Yu laughed quietly. You make it sound easy. It won't be, the CEO said. But neither was this. A notification buzzed on the table. The CEO glanced at it, then went still. What is it? Lin Yu asked. The investigation report, the CEO said slowly. Preliminary findings. Lin Yu's pulse quickened. And? The CEO looked at him, something like relief flickering through his eyes. They've identified systemic misconduct, he said. Not yours. Not mine. Lin Yu closed his eyes. For the first time in weeks, he allowed himself to breathe. But even as hope settled into his chest, another message appeared beneath the first, this one private, encrypted. Unknown, you've won the room. But not the war. Lin Yu's eyes snapped open. The CEO saw the change in his expression instantly. You. Lin Yu handed him the phone. The CEO read the message, jaw tightening. Someone doesn't want to let go, Lin Yu said quietly. The CEO slid the phone into his pocket. Then, he said, we make sure they can't hurt you again. Outside, the city lights flared against the darkening sky. The truth had spoken. But shadows were still moving. Chapter 7, The One Thing He Never Said. The threat didn't come loudly. It came quietly, the way all the worst things in Lin Yu's life always had. 3 days after the press conference, when the world had started to move on, when headlines softened, when strangers stopped staring quite so hard, Lin Yu received a single envelope. No return address. No stamp. Just his name, written carefully, as if whoever sent it knew him well enough to take their time. His hands went cold before he even opened it. Inside was a printed photo. Lin Yu standing outside the company building months ago, shoulders hunched, box in his arms. Taken from across the street. Cropped close enough to see his face. Below it, one line of text. You survived because you were protected. Others won't be so lucky. Lin Yu sat down slowly. The room felt too quiet. The CEO reacted immediately. Security was tightened. Phones were checked. Legal teams were alerted. Every possible rational response was set in motion with terrifying efficiency. But none of it touched the knot tightening in Lin Yu's chest. Because this wasn't about exposure anymore. It was about guilt. They are right, Lin Yu said that night, staring at the city through the window. About one thing. The CEO stood behind him, arms around his waist. Which thing? I survived because of you, Lin Yu said softly. There are people who didn't. The CEO didn't answer right away. You didn't create the system, he said finally. And you didn't protect it. But I lived inside it, Lin Yu whispered. Quietly. I let it pass me by. The CEO tightened his hold, resting his forehead against Lin Yu's shoulder. You're allowed to survive, he said. You're allowed to be saved. Lin Yu closed his eyes. That's the thing, he said. I don't want to be the ending where only I get out. The board's final decision came the next morning. The CEO was cleared. Not just formally, but publicly. Statements were released. Apologies issued. A new oversight committee announced. The company's stock stabilized. Everyone called it a victory. Lin Yu felt nothing. At the celebration dinner, quiet, mandatory, carefully controlled, Lin Yu sat beside the CEO at a long table filled with people who smiled too easily. You must be relieved, one board member said. Lin Yu smiled politely. I'm awake, he replied. The man laughed, unsure what else to do. Halfway through the evening, Lin Yu excused himself. He stepped outside onto the terrace, cool air brushing his skin. The city stretched endlessly below, bright and distant. He pulled out his phone. Typed. Deleted. Typed again. Finally, He pressed send. The non-profit legal clinic was small. Underfunded. Overworked. Perfect. Lin Yu stood in the doorway, heart pounding, as the director looked up from her desk. Yes. My name is Lin Yu, he said. I want to help build something. She studied him. Do you have experience? Yes, Lin Yu said. And a reason. That night, back at home, Lin Yu packed a box. Not clothes. Papers. Notes. Names. The CEO watched silently from the doorway. You're planning something, he said. Lin Yu nodded. I'm going to testify, he said. Publicly. About everything I saw before this. Not just what happened to me. The CEO's breath caught. You. I know, Lin Yu said gently. This will reopen things. For you too. The CEO crossed the room in 2 strides and took Lin Yu's face in his hands. You don't owe the world your pain, he said. Lin Yu leaned into the touch. No. But I owe it my voice. The CEO searched his eyes, fear and pride warring openly now. Then, he said finally, I'll stand where you can see me. Lin Yu smiled faintly. That's all I ever wanted. The testimony was scheduled for the following week. And on the morning of the hearing, as Lin Yu stepped into the courthouse, cameras flashing, voices rising. He felt calm. For the first time, the fear wasn't louder than his resolve. Inside, someone was already waiting to speak against him. Someone who knew how to hurt quietly. Someone who believed Lin Yu would back down. Lin Yu took his seat, hands steady. And thought. You were wrong about me. Chapter 8, What Remains. The courtroom smelled faintly of paper and old wood. Lin Yu sat at the witness table, hands folded, spine straight, eyes forward. The room buzzed with low conversation, lawyers murmuring, reporters whispering, observers leaning in as if proximity alone might grant the meaning. This was it. Not the company. Not the marriage. Not the scandal. This moment. The judge entered. The room rose. Then settled. Mr. Lin, the prosecutor began gently, you may begin when ready. Lin Yu inhaled. For the first time in his life, no one interrupted him. I was hired as an intern, he said. Not because of who I loved, but because of what I could do. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. I worked quietly. I watched how mistakes were handled. Who was protected? Who wasn't? A few heads turned. When I was blamed, I accepted it. Not because I was guilty, but because I had learned that survival sometimes looks like surrender. The courtroom was still now. I'm not here because I want revenge, Lin Yu continued. I'm here because silence almost convinced me that what happened was normal. He paused. It wasn't. Across the room, assistant manager Chiu sat rigid, eyes fixed on the table. Further back, the man Lin Yu had once feared, the one who'd sent the anonymous messages, shifted uncomfortably. The quiet kind of cruelty never liked the light. The defense tried. They questioned his motives. His marriage. His timing. Isn't it true, one lawyer said, that your testimony is influenced by your husband's power? Lin Yu met his gaze. No, he said. It's influenced by the people who didn't have anyone to stand behind them. That was the moment the room changed. Not with noise. With understanding. Outside, hours later, the courthouse doors opened. The findings were clear. Systemic misconduct. Retaliation. Deliberate scapegoating. Names were named. Consequences followed. No dramatic arrests. No public shaming. Just something rarer. Correction. Lin Yu stepped into the daylight, blinking as the sun hit his face. The crowd waited, cameras poised. Someone shouted, Mr. Lin. Was it worth it? He looked back through the glass doors. At the room where his voice hadn't shaken. Then to the man waiting for him at the bottom of the steps. Yes, Lin Yu said simply. The CEO reached him, slipping a hand into his with quiet certainty. You're done, he murmured. Lin Yu shook his head, smiling softly. No. I'm finished hiding. Months later, the city felt different. Not kinder. Just clearer. The legal clinic expanded. More funding. More volunteers. More people who spoke up because someone else had gone first. Lin Yu worked there every day. Not as a symbol. As himself. Some afternoons, when work ran late, the CEO would stop by with takeout, rolling up his sleeves to help sort files. No one whispered. No one stared. They were just two men sharing a table. One evening, as they locked up together, Lin Yu paused. "Do you ever wish," he asked, "that I'd stayed quiet?" The CEO considered it. "No," he said. "But I wish the world hadn't needed you to be brave to deserve fairness." Lin Yu smiled. "Me too." At home, they cooked dinner. Ordinary. Unremarkable. Perfect. Later, as Lin Yu watered the cactus on the windowsill, the same one he'd taken from his desk months ago, he laughed quietly. "It's grown," he said. The CEO looked over. "So have you." Lin Yu leaned into him, warm and steady. For a long time, they stood like that, city lights flickering beyond the glass. The world still moved too fast. Still broke people who spoke softly. But tonight, Lin Yu was seen. Not because of who he loved, but because he chose to speak.
Hi there. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you noticed, Lin Yu's husband was called the CEO the entire story. Except one time. I referred to his name once. Did you find it? If you did, comment his name below. As a hint, his name was mentioned in Chapter 2. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time. Stay in the love.